Boom. Hey. Full Moon in Aquarius by Diana Rose Harper. The 23rd, Friday, today. Totally thought it was the day earlier. Full Moon in Aquarius at 7:37 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is right about now. What time is it?
7:33.
Woohoo! 4 minutes. Okay. What we believe to be possible influences all the time. What we believe to be possible influences all of time. It dictates what we understand and accept about the past. It colors how we see and navigate our present. It contains how we envision the many possible roads laid before us, which we see as worthy and valid versus those we dismiss as totally impossible. What we believe to be possible will conceal those beliefs that are utterly unthinkable, not just impossible, but literally unimaginable, beyond our capacity to even begin to conceptualize. And as you know by now, working with the lunar wisdom contained within this planner, every full moon is a moment of astronomical opposition, with the sun and moon face to face on either side of a zodiacal axis. The full moon in Aquarius is always opposite the sun in its home sign of Leo. This is a lunation that stretches us from the literal center of our solar system to the far edges of it, from the radiant heart of Leo to the Aquarian edge of conceptual reality. This axis reminds us that who we imagine ourselves to be, the self that dances with identity and ego, is always contained within a much larger vision of what's true, authentic, verifiable, and valid. The edges of our personal imaginations are in close conversation with the boundaries of various collective imaginations we exist within. Familiar, national, cultural, religious, and scientific. Pushing the edges of what we can imagine to be real is literally a magical practice. Again, pushing the edges of what we can imagine to be real is literally a magic practice. Poking holes in the stale, flimsy walls of beliefs that won't imagine equity, won't imagine beyond economic exploitation, won't conceive a governance without a calcified hierarchy. In the work of becoming a highly nutritious and ecologically rebalancing weed within the concrete fortress of colonialist capitalism. That was a mouthful. And you on your own can do some of this work within yourself, ripping up the invasive, choking, life-denying conditioning that only strengthens those who wield their ill-begotten power poorly, greedily, and without love. As you do this kind of work, you become more truly yourself. You radiate greater love and support the necessary growth of those around you. And you do this by simply being, by simply continuing to be a weed. And you do this by first cultivating and then using the courage to stand up for what's even as it flies in the face of false limits placed by what's possible. Etymologically, courage shares, I'm going to look that word up later, but etymologically, courage shares a root with the French word coeur, which means heart. It's C-O-E-U-R. The heart is ruled by Leo, ruled by the sun, ruled by the luminous lamp that fills the humanitarian core of the Aquarian full moon. And at the same time as this lunation, Jupiter in Pisces will be easing off in opposition to Venus in Virgo, and Mercury in Cancer will be approaching an exact opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. This combination emphasizes how important our deepest values are to our deepest wisdom. This combination emphasizes how important our deepest values are to our deepest wisdom, and how our deepest wisdom can count for much if it doesn't care with equal depth. Take the time to be courageous enough to re-envision what's possible, and take the time to bring illuminative love to the edges of your conditionings, your convictions, to see which ones are in need of editing, assessing, expansion, or removal. Take the time to see how your own beliefs intersect with the wider beliefs you've grown up within, and take the time to see how your choices can influence those wider beliefs in turn. The lighting is perfect with the sun. It's pretty sweet. Just looking at myself is cool. If you'd like a ritual container to do this work, please adapt the following to suit your needs, time, and space. It is partially inspired by the practice of morning pages from Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, as well as the mystical practice of automatic writing. You will need a notebook, something to write with, a comfortable place to sit while writing, a tarot deck, oracle deck, or book of poetry. And alternatively, you can use a voice recorder to capture your thoughts. Try not to use a computer. Begin by making your space sacred in a way that is meaningful to you, and turn off your phone. Ask any housemates not to disturb you, and thank the physical components of your space for holding you. If you like using incense, light some. If it's safe for you to burn a candle, light one of those too. Sit in your writing spot and take 3 long, slow, deep breaths. With each inhalation, imagine that you are expanding your capacity for generative imagination. Generative imagination. With each exhalation, with each exhalation, appreciate the extra room. With each exhalation, appreciate the extra room. And if you're using a deck, pick it up and shuffle it. If you're using a book of poetry, begin to thrum through the pages. For both, focus on this question. What conceptual boundary is it time...
You got her. You got that.
What conceptual boundary is it time to expand? And when you feel like it's time, pick a card and choose a page in the book and consider the card or page for a few minutes. Take in whatever it contains in light of the core question. What conceptual boundary is it time to expand? Turn to your notebook and begin writing. And once your pen hits the paper, do not stop writing until you have filled at least 3 pages. As you write, release the need of your writing to be coherent, logical, or linear. And when you are unsure what else to write, keep making shapes of some kind and give yourself permission to doodle if that feels better than writing words. Try not to cheat by increasing the size of your handwriting. There's an exclamation point on that one, so focus on the details.
Focus up.
And if you fill 3 pages but don't feel done, continue writing until the tap runs dry. And put down your pen and take 3 more long, deep breaths. And remember the core question. What? Diana Rose Harper is a tarot reader, astrological Reiki master, writer, educator, and body worker. And Diana has contributed to Haas Witch's community page, was a speaker at the 2020 edition of the Northwest Astrological Conference, and is one of half of the forthcoming Rosebud Tarot. Learn more about Diana's work at her website at www.ddamaskena, which is DDAMASCENAA.com. I send pictures of these things to you so you get that. And follow her on Instagram at DDAMASCENAA. Properly said, Damaskena. Love you guys.